some ways, I mean, what happened in the 1950s, if that's what they were asking for, we need to take into consideration that the first linguistic state was formed in 1951. Why did the federal government take 15 years to grant the Sikhs something which they were asking for if it was innocuous? So it is sort of, again, I mean, the identity politics, the religion, and somehow the politician becomes an easy hobby horse that they are the cause of the trouble. I'm not so sure. The trouble is there. They are making use of it for their own good or whatever their agendas are. So in some ways, I think what is the nature of reality that well, to begin with, the Sikhs wanted a separate state and there was no way to get it. So for almost just a little detail that after the partition, the first local leader to be arrested was Master Tara Singh. 15th of August we have the independence, and here is February 1948. The man is arrested and kept in jail. So this is the sort of post-independence. Why? Because there is a clear concern on the part of Pandit Nehru, a secularist leader, and Sardar Patel that this man is onto something very difficult which we won't be able to handle. And that was the religious issue, not really the language issue. And of course, again, we're trying to grasp what happened, but all these elements are there.
Can I respond?
Yes.
And I would agree with Dr. Mann. And I think what you were saying fits in really well with what I was saying, that Sikhs were kept outside of civil society. And there, because of the nature of this Indian secular state, couldn't allow for a Sikh politics based in their religion.
And we'll end with the final question.
Yes, my question is for Professor Mann, and it's kind of on a different tangent, but
It's speak up.
Yeah, it's in your experience, what has been like the reaction of youngsters and young adults in, I guess, like the global diaspora of Punjabis after the tragic happenings in Wisconsin? What has their reaction been, and if you've noticed, like particularly in your classes, if there's been any like I guess questioning of their identity or something resurfacing within their notions of being American and being Punjabi and being Sikh?
I think that's a very important question, and in some ways what happened in 1984 and what happened in Oak Creek, that comparison is stark. In 1984, the response came from people who had come from Punjab. But this time, at CNN or at most of these forums, were the young people who were born and brought up here. And I think the orientation is very different. They are able to speak a different language. They are able to address these gatherings and in a way answer questions which would be clearer to their listeners. That did not happen in 1984 because the Sikhs were trying to interpret in an idiom which sort of was still okay in the Punjabi setting but didn't work here. It was hard for them to explain. But we hear this time, organizations like Sikh Coalition based in New York, I think you have a segment here too, and several other organizations, they sort of took a very proactive stance to explain or to respond to the tragedy, and they were able to do a good job with that.
Thank you. I want to thank our panelists and Professor Mann for a wonderful and very thoughtful. Huge thanks to Professor Cheshram, Mesa, Religious Studies for organizing this event. Let's make this the first of several such events and the beginning of a very, very important conversation. Thank you all.